Broadcasting live on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Here's your host, Andrew Romanella.
Okay? Like, just get the hell out of here. Nobody cares what you think if you're not a Mets fan.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to another edition of The Rome Show, broadcasting live on YouTube, Twitter, X, Instagram, and Facebook. I'm your host, Andrew Romanella. We got a 45-minute show set for the people. It is... and we are ready for you. We have a special guest today. His name is Rocky Romanella, and he joins us as he does every single week to discuss the National Hockey League. But I'm sure he's got some opinions on other things as well. We're back in the state of New Jersey, which feels really good, though that's only going to last for one day. And we have some more openings in the National Football League, but this time it's not just the head coaching position, though one more head coach has been fired, arguably the sexiest head coach out there, and now the sexiest opening out there, but coordinators across the National Football League yesterday losing their jobs. So there is so much to do today on this episode of The Rome Show. Let's get it started. Just remember, the Romanella's on YouTube. That's youtube.com/The Romanellas, Twitter, X, and Instagram, The Rome Show 1. That's The Rome Show, then the number 1. Facebook.com/The Rome. So hit subscribe, hit like, share the show with somebody, and help grow the audience. I have to say, I really do appreciate the people reaching out recently to A, let us know what they do like, and B, let us know what they'd like to see in 2026. Any of those social sites, you can comment live or just give us your opinions. The Baltimore Ravens fired John Harbaugh yesterday after 18 seasons in the black and gold. Over the course of those 18 seasons, John Harbaugh amassed a record of 118 and 113. He had a 13 and 11 postseason record, including a Super Bowl championship against the San Francisco 49ers in 2013 with Joe Flacco at the helm. And he beat his brother in that Super Bowl. The Ravens missed the playoffs this year for the first time since the 2021 season. And after 18 years, despite what you do or don't think about John Harbaugh, we'll get to that in a second, the bottom line is sometimes it is just time for change. And after 18 years, where the last 8 have had arguably one of the best 5 players in the league, definitely one of the best 5 quarterbacks in the league, 2-time MVP, Lamar Jackson on center, and you haven't been able to get past the AFC Championship game. Actually taking it deeper, it feels like barely get to the AFC Championship game. It does make sense why we're looking for a refresh in Baltimore. Let me explain quickly why this is not the same as Mike Tomlin in Pittsburgh. Because the way this is viewed is John Harbaugh has had the weapons, has had the talent, has had a team that has put a roster around him that is good enough to compete and win the Super Bowl. For example, to start the 2025 season, the Baltimore Ravens were the betting favorite to win the Super Bowl. They finished the year 8-9. Okay. Now, Lamar was out for half the year, and they are one 44-yard chip shot away from hosting a home playoff game in 4 days. So let's not also pretend like we're the Cleveland Browns, but to go from favorite to win the Super Bowl or a top favorite to win the Super Bowl to not making the postseason, that is dramatic, okay? And regardless of who your quarterback was throughout that time, it feels like it's been trending this direction for the last year or two with John Harbaugh. The Rome Show podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts, early on in the season, I mentioned that this might be something that is going to happen at the end of the year if the Ravens do not turn it around. Why it's different than Pittsburgh? Because Harbaugh has the talent. Mike Tomlin does not necessarily have the talent. Since Ben Roethlisberger in Pittsburgh, the quarterback situation has been a joke. There has never really been a number one wide receiver there, especially after Antonio Brown decided to absolutely flip his entire life and go from being the best wide receiver in the NFL to a literal criminal. This is not a team that is flush with talent all across the board. When's the last legitimate running back they've had? Jerome Bettis? It is a organization that does a fantastic job with what they have, how they operate, and the ability with which they have to be consistent. That is their best attribute. But spending money on top-level talent is not their best attribute. And so what Mike Tomlin has done and has to do because of the talent level on his roster, the lack of quarterback on his roster, is a whole lot different than John Harbaugh. Considering, though Joe Flacco, not a top probably 12 quarterback even at his height, definitely top 15, maybe top 10 some years, whatever the case is, obviously won a Super Bowl. Joe Flacco still at this moment wanted by teams this year because of how much better he is than most of the people that have quarterback teams. And Joe Flacco still better than the last 5 quarterbacks not named Aaron Rodgers under center for Mike Tomlin. And there's the difference. I think the Ravens are looking to make a change even if Loop hits that field goal. Because it has been what feels like for at least the last 3 to 4 years, the conversation has been the Ravens underperforming. Even if they make the underperforming. It has been a consistent conversation around this team the last 3 or 4 years. And this season just put a bow on what the decision was from Steve Bisciotti, the owner of the Ravens, which was, hey, we really appreciate John for what he's done, but I think it is time for a change. Here's the statement from the owner of the Ravens. Throughout what I firmly believe is a Hall of Fame coaching career, John has delivered a Super Bowl championship to Baltimore and served as a steadfast pillar of humility and leadership. He and his family have deeply embodied themselves in this community. For these profound contributions on and off the field, we should all be forever grateful. Bisciotti continues, our goal has always been and will always be to win championships. We strive to consistently perform at the highest level on the field and be a team and organization, our fans take pride in. I thought that was an awesome statement from the owner of the Baltimore Ravens, but I think it also gives you just a little bit more insight into what it looks like, okay, with Harbaugh leaving Baltimore. What that looks like is within an hour, all 6 coaching vacancy organizations called John Harbaugh's agent. John Harbaugh now has become the best coaching candidate on the market since arguably Jim Harbaugh 2 years ago. You know, last year there was a lot of hype around Ben Johnson, and clearly that hype has paid off. But I'm talking in terms of you go into the offseason and you're like, I know that guy can be a good head coach. Whereas some of these other guys, Ben Johnson, Liam Cohen, right? Even Sean McVay when he got his job 9 years ago, Kyle Shanahan when he got his job 8 years ago in San Fran, there were still question marks, right? And I'm sure there question marks come with John Harbaugh, right? Well, how come they didn't win with Lamar Jackson? What was missing in Baltimore? Has the game passed him by a little bit? Is that why maybe this is happening? If he's so good, why would they get rid of him? You know, all those questions come up. But at the end of the day, you look at that resume, you look what a team like the Giants need. You look like what a team like Arizona, what the Raiders need. They need control. They need professionalism. They need, how do we make this organization a legitimate organization from the top down, from the down to the up, and from everywhere in between? And John Harbaugh has that pedigree. You know, I'm going to use the Giants for the example here. Oftentimes in this area, you hear about the Giants way. This is how the Giants do things. This is how things are done in this organization. And over the last 5 to 10 years, that way has been lost to the nth degree. There is no Giants way right now. It feels like a free-for-all, a crapshoot, and it's frustrating. Well, those other 5 or 6 teams not named Baltimore that have a coaching vacancy, they've never even had a way. There's no organization to it. The Raiders just left their home area, and now their fan base is essentially just turned into, this is a show. The Cardinals, I don't really know if the Cardinals have ever been good outside of Larry Fitzgerald and Kurt Warner. I don't think they've ever had a coach for beyond like 5 or 6 years in their history. Okay? I can keep going. I'm not going to. The point being is, no matter what organization John Harbaugh goes to, he sets the standard. And that's a culture-changing type thing. That could be exactly what the Browns need. Oh, this is what it looks like to be good every year? This is the way the work has to be put in? Huh. So John Harbaugh, instantaneously, #1 coaching candidate on the market. And the cool part for him is he's going to have all the power. And by the way, if he doesn't like any of the 7 situations going on right now, or 6, I should say, because obviously he got fired from one of the 7, he could just take the year off, right? He's 63 years old. As Bisciotti already said, definitely already a Hall of Fame coaching career. So this whole domino effect of who's getting hired where in the National Football League is going to start now with what happens with John Harbaugh. Some coordinators fired yesterday as well before we take our commercial break and get Rocky on here. Cliff Kingsbury out in Washington, as well as defensive coordinator Joe Witt Jr. So Dan Quinn trying to do everything he can to not have the atrocity of what happened this year happen again for the Commanders, considering just a year ago from this moment, they were fighting to go to the NFC Championship game. Matt Eberflus, after one season out as the defensive coordinator in Dallas, that makes plenty of sense. That defense was atrocious. Though, you did the guy no favors by trading Micah Parsons a week before the season. John Morton out as the offensive coordinator in Detroit. He also was only there for one season. Obviously, we just mentioned Ben Johnson, now the head coach of the Chicago Bears, was the offensive coordinator there and is now proven to be a great head coach. So Dan Campbell going to have to do some things, okay, in Detroit. Last note here for the people. Oh, by the way, the Falcons restructured Kirk Cousins' deal. He still gets the same money he's owed, but now if they release him, there's money can be paid off in 2 separate years, helps the flexibility for the Falcons cap, and Kirk Cousins guarantees his money and plus also could look for a potential starting job. So that is very interesting for all those teams that need a quarterback. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we take a commercial break. We come back. It's Hockey with Rocky. We continue on here on the Rome Show, broadcasting live on YouTube, Twitter, X, Instagram, and Facebook. Andrew Romanella back in a jiff.
What is one thing every great leader has in common? They challenge their people to not stop at the first right answer. Tighten the Lug Nuts is a leadership book that will teach you how to move past the first right answer with entertaining and detailed examples founded in real-world concepts and experiences. Accelerate towards your professional goals with Tighten the Lug Nuts, one of the best leadership books available.
Now, inside the glass, Hockey with Rocky.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen?
How
What's
we
going on,
doing,
ladies and
Rock?
gentlemen? Oh, we're doing good. We're going bar down. We're having a great day.
That's exciting. So just regular Rocky today. No change of the name on the bottom of the screen there.
Should I have changed it to something else?
I thought it was going to be like a New York Islander because they waxed the Devils 9-0 last night.
Oh no, no. I don't have I don't have the teams in my favorite team repertoire right now to rival a better performance than a 9-0 loss. So it's not really fair for me to talk any
That's
kind of smack to teams that lose.
Oh man, I thought you were coming on here and your name was going to be like Ilya Sorokin or Schaefer or something like that.
No, no.
I was
As the
ready for
Rangers
it.
find themselves in the bottom of the Met with a tough loss, no fight to the Utah Willies the other night. So
You know what I realized, Rocky, about the New York Rangers? Okay, and and and
they
and
love to
and we
drive you crazy. I don't.
no, well, yeah, that's fair. So do the Giants, and so do the Mets, and probably so do your children. So it's like all wrapped up in one, right? No, but you know what? I realize is you just got to play every game outside because if the Rangers play outdoor hockey, they're electric.
Can't they can't yeah even if it's partially outdoors and not
Yeah, take the
fully
roof off.
outdoors,
Yeah.
just half the roof, not the whole roof, half the roof.
So how do you feel about that, by the way? That's where I want to start because I actually got a lot of questions about that over the last 2 weeks. And the main question was, do you feel like it's the Winter Classic? And I get that they were trying to do something cool in Florida, like Rock. I get it. And that's kind of cool, to be honest with you, when it all was said and done. But like as a true hockey guy that's been watching since every Winter Classic, do you feel like we've lost a little luster there?
Yeah, it's funny, like I think when they announced the Winter Classic, if we were to go back in time on this show, and when they announced the Winter Classic, I think I told you I didn't like it.
Yes,
Immediately.
immediately. Yeah.
Immediately. I think the Stadium Series is awesome. It gives you a chance to do all of kind of the gimmicky things. Now, listen, I'm not gonna sit here and argue I don't like it because I know that a lot of haters are like hockey purists and all that stuff. My thing is that the Winter Classic is at 1 p.m. on New Year's Day, not at 8 p.m. in a dome.
I'm so
Like
happy you said that.
it's an outdoor game at 1 p.m. on New
So happy.
Year's.
Like you
Oh,
honestly, if you wanted,
my thing. Like you want to put it in
yes,
Miami, fine. But why are we at the football stadium?
correct.
Oh yeah, because the college football playoff is there. So like you went from you had 36,000 possible tickets to be sold. The stadium's not big enough for what you're trying to experience. You did a Winter Classic at Michigan Stadium. You had 110,000 people on
Yeah,
the field.
yeah.
You're trying to battle. So now I did research because I'm not going to be a hater because, I'm not going to hate for no reason. But your viewership is down since you went to TNT and since the college football playoff had a bit more prominent presence on New Year's Day. By the way, college football bowl games have been happening on New Year's
Forever.
for the history of time.
Correct.
The change in bracket has
Yes.
created the change in viewership, not the fact that bowl games happen on New Year's Day. The Rose Bowl's been on New Year's Day for the history of
Forever.
time.
And by the way,
History of time.
your point right there, had the NHL just stayed on New Year's Day at the 12 o'clock slot, you still have the monopoly time over the nighttime
But
games that are on
but
January 1st.
but my point is if like, dude, you're never gonna outdraw football.
Correct.
You will never outdraw football.
No sport anymore is outdrawing football.
So
That's just a fact.
why would you replace your television viewership with less people in the stands?
Yeah. No, I
That's what
agree.
I don't understand.
And then
It's the venue. It's like
so true.
what are we doing?
So let me
And
ask you this.
hockey's usually good at this stuff.
You're the commissioner of the National Hockey League. Okay. I
Yes.
think this is the most backlash this has gotten in the last 10 years that it's existed. Make your changes. Give me just a quick, this is what I'm doing. I'm keeping this. I'm changing that. These are the guidelines.
If I want to go somewhere warm, I'm in Texas. I'm
Ooh,
at Texas Stadium.
okay.
That's number one. Like if I want to go somewhere
That would
warm,
be
I'm in
sick.
Texas.
Yeah.
I'm in Texas. If I'm gonna do a dome, I'm in Texas Stadium. I'm at a football venue. Now, I love the baseball crossover Okay, but it's never been a baseball specific stadium.
Nope.
Remember, the first Winter Classic was in Buffalo. Hi, Mark.
Yep.
Still Ralph Wilden at. So like, it's not. You've got to go on viewership. So if you want to do something warm, you want to drive it. Now I get it. Florida has won the last two Stanley Cups. It
Right.
makes sense. But you're doing a Stadium Series game in Tampa Bay this year.
Right. It's already
So
happening.
don't like you're overly committed to the market. You could have went in Tampa Bay, went Lightning versus Panthers, and gotten more out of that game
Mhm.
than you're going to get with Lightning Bruins.
Yeah. No, I agree with that 1,000%.
The Lightning Panthers rivalry right now is one of the most heated in sports. They
It's
racked
the
up like
highest.
250 penalty minutes.
Yeah.
So my immediate change is keep the Winter Classic, and that you want to keep going Stadium Series in your non-traditional hockey venues. Great,
Yeah. It's
I'm all
fine.
in.
It's cool. Add one and have the Winter Classic. Like the Winter Classic has to feel like its own standalone thing. And as somebody, both of us obviously together, having gone to a Winter Classic and not at a football stadium, by the way, right? But at an outdoor venue in Queens, New York, at Citi Field, Rocky and I think that whole day, the experience on January 1st, the new year, you're tailgating a baseball stadium at 9 a.m. to watch an outdoor hockey game. You cannot, and the cool part about it was you knew it was the only one that year. It wasn't like, oh, don't worry. No, it was like, we got to take this opportunity, Rock, because who knows how long they're going to have. Now, it almost feels like it's not even a novelty. And I think that's what hurts stuff like this when
Yeah.
when that novelty wears off.
Uh, by the way, why aren't we in Nashville?
Well, I see.
Why aren't we? Why
There's so
haven't we
many.
done one? Why haven't we done one in Nashville?
Nashville would be my number one, I think.
Why
And
haven't we
then
done one at Clemson in Clemson with the
and then I was
Carolina Hurricanes?
so Rock. I did an interview with one of the banana ball players the other day.
Yep.
One of the Savannah
Great
Bananas,
interview.
Frankie Moscow. By the way, if you didn't get that interview, haven't seen it, haven't watched it, the Rome Show podcast, wherever you get your podcast. Frankie's an awesome interview. I was fortunate enough to coach him in his college and professional career as well. And leaving that interview, Rocky, the one thing I thought about is though. What the Savannah Bananas did was they took baseball and made it an entertaining product. It's not like the National Hockey League is going to change the basis of hockey. But my point in saying that is you have to look at something like what they're doing and say, how can our sport do something like this? And you just mentioned Clemson. And the biggest thing that Frank talked about when he was on this show was his opportunity to play at these places. Like, he said a lot of people can actually say they've played baseball at Yankee Stadium. High school games in New York City, play their championship game there, yada, yada, yada. But how many people he said can say they played in Tallahassee at FSU? And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
And now that you just said that, it's that same concept, Rock. It's like, this is cool and it makes your sport different.
Yeah, yeah. So I that those are my takes. Listen, love that the Rangers won. You know, that was great.
It
Happy
was.
about that.
Unis were fire. Unis were
You,
sick. I mean,
Unis like yeah, the Browns on the Panthers were great.
I thought it was awesome.
So all of that stuff is good. Just like just give me a different venue.
Yeah, I agree. It's something that I think you've gotten to the point 10 years down the line where it might be time to adjust. We don't adjust. Our favorite visitor, Rocky Romanella here, his weekly spot, Hockey with Rocky, talking National Hockey League. Rock, give us the roundup. Floor's yours.
Yeah, so over the last 2 weeks, not only did the Winter Classic take place, but the Olympic rosters for Milano Cortina have been finalized.
Playing
And
roller hockey, I
Andrew,
heard. No.
Andrew, Team Canada looks
Stacked.
absolutely stacked.
Dude, stacked.
Stacked from top to bottom. The
I
addition
know.
of Macklin Celebrini, like you've got Crosby, you've got McKinnon. Like you've got Brad Marchand, Mitch Marner. I mean, it's just a litany of Stanley Cup champions.
And you know what scares me a lot too about this Canada roster? You know that this is the last opportunity for Sidney Crosby to be playing for this team. And if you
Eh,
remember Four Nations last year, remember how much those guys talked about how much it mattered to play with Sid? That scares me in its own right, let
Forget
alone the
about it. And
talent.
then the thing that like Canada went all in on, and you can't deny it, is the addition of Tom Wilson. Right? They saw the way Four Nations played out. They lost, but they won the gold at Four Nations,
Yep.
right? Obviously, they won, but it was obvious that they needed a tougher guy that can score goals, and
Hmm.
that's Tom Wilson. And like you add Tom Wilson to the roster, and okay, your heads have turned. I
They are the
mean,
favorite, correct?
they have to be. I don't
Yeah.
see how they're not.
I think I saw it the other day. I think it's them, the United States, and maybe Sweden or something like
I,
that.
I don't love Team USA's team.
So a lot of people don't. Can you explain why?
I don't think what like how come it's okay for Sidney Crosby? And I get it. Crosby is playing at a much higher level, but like I mean, Patrick Kane, the best US born hockey player like in our lifetime.
Hmm.
How is he not on why not?
Right. Correct.
Why not? Cole Caulfield. Why is Cole Caulfield not on the team and Brock Nelson's on the team? I don't know why Brock Nelson's on the team. I know Brock Nelson's a good player, is a great addition for the Colorado Avalanche, having a great season. But why isn't Cole Caulfield on the team? I like the Tage Thompson addition. I got to be honest with you. I don't think I would have put JT Miller. I don't think I would have put one Ranger on the team.
That's great.
Everyone thinks Adam Fox got snubbed. He just went back on LTIR. Like the coach is Mike Sullivan. He knows if he's injured or not.
Yeah,
And
right.
quite frankly, JT Miller didn't play the other night either. So I don't even want him on the team.
So could this be like a Miracle on Ice thing where we're all
No,
looking at this thing and we're like, this
no,
roster's wild, but then they come out and they're really good together?
no, absolutely not. A Miracle on Ice would be like Chechia winning the gold medal. I don't think
I'm more
like
coming from the standpoint of zero people liked that roster, thought it was an atrocity, and it ended up being one of the most important moments in hockey
I can't
history.
believe
I'm not
Matthew
saying.
Kachuk's first game of the year going to be with Team USA? Like he hasn't even played a game in the NHL this year.
And that's, I think, the issue with our country when it comes to these tournaments and other countries. Okay. In the simplest of forms, I feel like the United States and the way we choose some of these teams sometimes comes down to not actually what it's supposed to be about. Whereas all these other countries, when we're getting ready for a World Cup or we're getting ready for an Olympics, it's like we read their roster and it's like, oh, this makes so much sense. And it's like, yeah, of course it does, because it's the best 25 players in their country. And that's what it should be in the United States locker room. Yeah, there are some adjustments here and there. Maybe player number 32 is a little bit better for this team than player number 21. But you don't go to player number 106 when you have the talent we have in the United States. And you know what that talent is. So, Rock, I read it. I read an article. Maybe it was from Bar Down or Spit and Chicklets. It's one of those two. And it was like, why these 10 players aren't on this roster? And I'm like, I don't even know if I agree with this, but just the fact that one person can think that 10 other people should be on the roster, and then you come on this show, and I bet you think 5 or 6 players should be changed on the roster. That, to me, gives me concern heading into this Olympics.
No doubt. And I tell you what, if Sweden can play with an edge, they are nice.
So what's up? They're World
Sweden's
Juniors,
roster,
right? They won
Sweden's
the World
roster is
Juniors?
better than ours, and they did just win the World Juniors.
So their youth is
Tragic.
good too, huh?
Yeah, Finland, big win over the United States in the semifinal game. And by the way, listen, U.S. went back to back, first time ever, and a lot of those guys are in the NHL now. I mean,
Yeah.
you look at Ryan Leonard dominating in caps. Like Gabe Perreault is playing with the Rangers now, so like their whole first line's gone. So they were gonna, it was gonna be a tough task for them. They should have beat Finland though.
Yeah.
That's obvious.
Yeah.
And then Sweden with a big upset of Canada.
That was
Gotta
fun,
love
though.
it.
I like that. If we
That
weren't
that
going to win it, good. I'm cool with Sweden and Finland, but it seems to me like those are the 4 best hockey nations.
absolutely,
Like
absolutely.
it's bar none right now.
Yeah. I listen. The only thing is like Russia's not there.
Yeah, which is it. I'm not even getting to it because it's probably more a political thing than anything else, but it
It's
really
banned. They're
does.
banned from international competitions.
Right. But more or less, it also just feels like over the last 15 years, even just seeing those guys come into the National Hockey League has really taken a downtick too.
I don't think so. I think there's plenty of Russian. I think the Russian team would
I'm gonna get
be
the stats.
one of the best. And it's probably those 5. I would argue, Russia has way more than Finland does in the NHL.
Really?
Oh yeah.
62 Russian-born players are currently playing in the National Hockey League.
Is it more than Finland?
Oh, we're about to find out.
I think it is. I think Sweden's probably ahead of Finland. USA is second to probably Canada.
I see 38 Finnish.
Yeah.
Okay, what
Yeah,
do
the
you say
entire
next?
roster. No,
Yeah,
then Sweden.
but see that
Sweden has
I
more
think
than
sometimes
Finland. Sweden has more than Finland, potentially more than Russia.
Sweden 101.
Yeah, such good skaters.
Such good. But like, am I crazy to think that 20 years ago that wasn't the case? Like, isn't Henrik Lundqvist a big reason for this?
I think. I mean, I would think
How
like
about these
Peter
names?
Forsberg. Peter
That's a,
Forsberg, probably.
so here are the 5 best Swedish players right now in the National Hockey League: Nicholas Backstrom, Eric Carlson, Victor Hedman,
That's of all
Philip
time.
Philip Forsberg, and Mika Zibanejad. Now, I don't
Now,
know
4
what
of them are players today.
Yeah, right. And I don't know if this is supposed to be an active list and whoever just retired recently anyways, but regardless, those are only 5 of the 101 names. So you're right. Now, from there it goes USA, then Canada, right? Canada number 1, USA number 2, right?
I would think yes.
Yeah, we might as well continue.
US has its largest share of NHL players that it's ever had.
Dude, can you guess the Canadian number?
Canadian number 600.
Okay, lower.
485.
Ooh, lower.
432.
Oh, it's 434. That was a really
Wow.
good one. 434 Canadians, 372 of them skate, and 28 of them play goaltender.
Nasty. For a country with a population of like 38 million.
That's wild. Okay.
It is wild.
Oh, okay. And wow, you're right. The American-born player, that's a big number for what it's ever been. Do you want to guess that one?
Yeah, it's probably 356.
Lower.
295.
One more guess. A little bit lower.
273.
288.
Okay.
So it is, to finish our list here, Canada has the most with over 400. Then the United States with nearly 300. And then we go Russia or Sweden or Finland. No, Sweden, Russia, Finland to finish off the top 5. And then so you're right. Really losing Russia in the international play changes a lot.
No doubt. No doubt. My final to the Olympics. Race to the Olympics, Olympic break, trade deadline March 6th.
Okay.
Right? Buffalo Sabres, Toronto Maple Leafs, Boston Bruins. Will you be buyers or sellers at the deadline? Capitals, Penguins, Devils, Rangers, buyers or sellers? Willies, Predators, Blues, Blackhawks, buyers or sellers? Kings, Sharks, Ducks, buyers or sellers? That is the question every team will be asking themselves over the next 6 to 8 weeks. And the standings go to prove it. You see your boys, the Lightning.
Playing good.
Lightning Wings, been on them all year. Right? Love it.
Big win last night. Shut down McKinnon and the Avalanche. Big win.
Don't know if the saves will last. The Panthers will definitely rally. Yeah. Right? And the Canadians have been good all year.
For the sake of Sabres fans, I hope it lasts.
Yep. Don't know if the Islanders or the Flyers were last. The Caps should be there. Crapshoot and the Met. It looks like it's going to be a 5-team Atlantic Eastern Conference this year.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
But like, it is buy sell time, and you have got to get yourself into buying position at the Olympic break, in my opinion. I think if you are not a buyer, like if you're not buying to make a run to the playoffs, or you're not convinced you're going to the playoffs at the deadline or at the Olympic break, your decision is going to be made prior to the trade deadline.
Just some notes on the Buffalo Sabres: 11-1 in their last 12 games, which included a 10-game winning streak. Halfway through, they saw them fire their general manager Jarmo Kekkonen on December 20th. They then went 7-1 since firing.
No. Jarmo is the new guy.
Oh, new general manager. Dyslexia right there. Read that backwards. Sentence backwards there. So anyways, Rocky got to the end of my next sentence. That's the actual general manager. They fired the other guy. 7-1 since then. Okay. And what I thought, Rocky, was really important was them bouncing back after their first loss after that 10-game losing streak. I thought that was huge.
Yeah,
And
that's definitely big. That was the sentiment, was what happened after the first loss.
correct. And on the flip side, by the way, it's just scary when Tampa Bay gets to this moment because I just don't feel like you ever, okay, they're playing good now. It's just like they're going to play good until someone can find a way to knock them off in the playoffs. And to add that, Rock, to what already is going on in the Eastern Conference, I said this to someone the other day. This has been the most fun I've had watching every hockey team in the National Hockey League.
I got to check on this team because I don't know if they're good or not. Like, let's see what they got.
Right.
You know?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
no,
need the ESPN app. Here's the
yeah,
Western Conference side, by the way.
yeah. No, Western. Listen, Central Division. No one. The top three teams haven't won a game in 10 games
Kind of
across the board
wild.
there. I know it is crazy.
It's one
I'm
of those
obviously
stats. You're
not.
like, that's not
I think
real.
the Avalanche. I think Landeskog just went down with an upper body injury, so that negatively affected them. The
Mhm.
Stars are looking shaky right now. And the Wild, like I think the Wild are going to end up being fine. I think the Wild will be steady. I don't necessarily know if the Mammoth or Preds have it in. I would think that the Kings and and I think that the Kings and the Sharks with their youth have a stronger push, but again, like it's anybody's game for the last two spots in the Western Conference. Literally anybody's game.
It makes it just so much more fun. By the way,
Yeah.
Rocky, Jay Boya Co. 1 writes in, what about the Czech players in the National Hockey League? What percentage of Czechians are in the National Hockey League? So I looked that up while you were giving us a standings rundown. Would you guess? Okay. If I gave you 5 countries before, the
Okay.
Czech Republic would be the 6th country.
Chechnya.
Okay. Sure. That's right. Czechia. Where would you rank them? Okay. You have 1 through 6. What's your guess? Yeah.
5.
5.
Yeah.
Very good guess. It is 4. There are 70 Czechia-born players in the National Hockey League.
I believe the most notable and
Where are they on the international
historically
stage?
not great.
Why though? Like, doesn't that blow your mind? Don't you see how that for a marginal hockey fan, how you struggle?
Who's the top
player?
Who's the top? Who are the top? Who are the top players?
Czechia players. Why? Because you think almost like the 70 is more about filler guys on rosters than necessarily elite guys in the league.
Like there's a tendency on player. So Swedish players are known for great skating ability, a little bit more defensive minded,
Sure.
right? Finns are known for being very steadfast. Like
Sure.
their game is their game. They're up 5, they're down 5, they're up 2, they're down 2, they're up 1, they're down 1, and like they're sneaky competitive.
And by the way, I got a list of Czechia-born players in the National Hockey League. Okay. I'm going to give you a few names.
I know the number 1 player of all time. I already know that one. Armor Yager.
Yeah. Well, okay. So now active. Because you got
Active?
on here, you have a few players. According to this list that I found, Andre Palat, though he's not having a great year for the Devils. David Pastrnak, the Bruins. Philip Hedl, who's now a Canuck. Pavel Zacha, drafted by the Devils, not a Devil anymore. But you're right. As I go through, I have a 50-person list right here. And the common NHL person would not know 45 of these players, though they are in the National Hockey League.
All great B to B plus A minus rated players.
Right. Yeah, that's a great point. Which means that collectively,
so all highly talented, all high expectation, all probably top 6, but second line top 6.
JD Boyakoko, thank you for the write-in. That's awesome. And also that's really interesting. I'd like to do that with each sports league, Rock. And I know that I think some of the other leagues not named baseball really would probably be more dominated by the American-born player. I think in the last 20 to 25 years, international scouting in all major sports has become so prominent and successful, by the way, that I think if you looked at the shift of amount of American-born players in each of the top 4 pro leagues from 20 years ago or 25 years ago to now, it's a dramatic change.
Yeah. No, it is, and I think Sasha Barkov was the first Finnish-born player to hoist the Stanley or captain the Stanley Cup 2 years ago, maybe.
Wow.
I
That's pretty
think
cool
is
stat.
he from Finn? Is he Finnish? I can't remember, but but like there you go. Like you're breaking, like you're right. Like that's the transition right there. You're still getting first of in each of those categories.
Right. By the way, another story in hockey before we let Rocky finish up on the day. Yesterday, Ilya Sorokin became the New York Islanders all-time leader in shutouts with
Why are
26.
Yeah, there you go. A Russian-born goaltender.
How about that?
Russians known for obviously great all-around hockey play, goaltending being one of their strongest positions.
Yeah. And
Why?
Rocky.
Vladislav Tretiak was the
Yeah.
most known. I mean, think about it. You have to look at the history of the play to get why each of the countries, why Pittsburgh Steelers, known for great defense,
Yep. You're right. And
right? Like it's the same thing at the country level.
they need to get back to that, by the way. Hey, you know what Ilya Sorokin made me look up last night?
What?
Rick DiPietro. And I got to
Oh,
be
what a
honest with you.
guy. I think his son plays now.
Yeah. So, and yes, you're correct. He actually coaches his son too, which would be hilarious. But, DiPietro gets a lot of flack, okay, because he was the first overall pick by the Islanders. There was a lot of hype around him, his success on the USA stage, all these things. He was 19 BU, all this stuff, okay? And I think because the money he got paid and the injuries, you look at his career and you think he's quote unquote a bust. But did you know that Rick DiPietro is third all time in shutouts in Islander history and third all time in wins, and is only one of two goalies, the other one being the aforementioned Ilya Sorokin, to win 30 games in 3 or more seasons in a row.
No,
It's
he was
wild.
nasty. He
He
was
was nasty.
nasty. The problem is that he signed a 16-year deal before 16-year deals were ever a thing,
Correct.
right? He signed a Bobby Bonilla contract that had never been seen in the game before.
Yep.
And then he got hurt after he was really good or in between. So like it was just like you never were able to piece it all together. And
Correct.
because you're not an Islanders fan, I don't know that he's that good. I catch him play like 1 to 4 times a year
Yeah, but
outside of highlights.
it's funny though, because now that he's on the radio, a lot. It's funny how people will call in like you want to take shots. Like, first off, dude, guy is only one of 3 goalies in National Hockey League history to get drafted first overall. So, like,
I know.
just sit down. But secondly, when you really do look at the numbers for a guy that played 11 years, got hurt, and though it never really quote unquote lived up to what it was actually really good. So Sorokin really made me go
Cla-
into the Islanders history yesterday.
Classic New York sports media at play when it
It's
comes
so
to
true.
branding someone's career.
That's exactly right. This is why you need to listen to the Rome Show, broadcasting every day at 7:05, 7:10-ish on youtube.com/the Romanellas, the Rome Show 1 on Twitter, X, and Instagram, and facebook.com/the Rome Show, because we ain't those people. Rocky, floor is yours to finish up your roundup.
Not so hot take from a New York Giants fan.
Oh, I told
Don't
the people on the intro this was going to happen.
don't think I want John Harbaugh.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? I need to know before you leave.
I don't want John Harbaugh today. I want John Harbaugh from 2008. Did you know that John Harbaugh only head coached one football team in his entire career
That would be the Baltimore Ravens.
for 18 years?
Yes.
I'm not looking for him to try it again at age 63 when he'll be 85 at the end of that stint. I want the next John Harbaugh at the beginning of his career.
Yeah.
I'm
I
not
understand.
looking, I'm not looking for another old guy to prove that he can still do it. I'm looking for the young guy with the old guy tendency that's gonna be there for my entire son's Giants fanship till he's
But,
my
like,
age and hating sports.
I completely understand your feelings there. But who is that guy, A, but also B, this for the last 7 years since Tom Coughlin, that's all the Giants have done is hire these guys that they think are going to be the next guy that could be Sean McVay. Why not neutralize the organization, get yourself back, make him Buck Showalter, come here for 4 to 6 years, turn this thing around, and then we can hire that guy that you're
Because the
talking
New
about.
York Mets are in the same position they were before they hired Buck Showalter.
Well, that's the next hire's fault. That's not the Buck Showalter fault. I mean, let's be real, though, because also, in theory, they weren't. The year after Buck Showalter, they went farther. So it did matriculate. Then they signed Juan Soto and realized this is not actually the roster that we thought. And we could dissect that in 99 different ways. But it did, in theory, the year after, work and get better. So I'm just saying, I don't disagree with your thought, but the Giants have failed at that for 5 straight coaches. What makes you think this is going to be the one they can get done?
Listen,
and
when I saw Harbaugh got
hired the last one.
When I saw Harbaugh got fired, I was like, oh, there's a good guy for the Giants. But like the more and more I think about it, the more and more I'm like, I don't know.
Listen, I don't disagree with you there. By the way, Megan Aussie 12 writes in, our friends from Australia are back, Rocky. So glad to see the Seahawks found their coach. Thank you, Ravens. Meg, you think they're going to fire the coach of the Seahawks for John Harbaugh? Because the Seahawks are the number one seed in the NFC right now.
The Seahawks, yeah. I don't know about that.
I don't know if now is the time to change anything in Seattle because they might be the favorite.
Is there an Australian rugby team that has that's named the Seahawks? Is there like a Australian rugby football
Hell
squad
no, she said.
that we
Okay,
don't
I
know
missed.
about?
No, Meg, we got you, Meg. We got you. No, I get what you're saying. I understand. You don't want the Seahawks to. We took. Oh, okay, Rocky. Duh. This is why we love Meg, who, by the way, Rock, was saying Happy New Year to us while we were on the show on December 31st, because in Australia, it was already the New Year, which was low-key fire. Mike McDonald was the coordinator in Baltimore. So her point being, thank God we got him before Harbaugh got fired, because he would then be the head coach in Baltimore right now. You know what? That's a great point.
Take.
Meg, that's a great take, Meg. Thank you for that. That's beautiful stuff. Rock, last thought.
Show Rangers.
And you know what's funny, people, is even though he joshes on all of his teams, somehow, some way, he still ends the conversation with Go Rangers. Rocky Romanella, everybody. I think you deserve one of these on the way out. Have a great day.
Later.
And you know what's fun about getting Rocky on sometimes? I don't know if you noticed this. Okay, I do, because obviously, it's my family. But sometimes when Rocky gets on the show, if him and I go a little bit longer, or like my intro's a little bit longer than normal, we'll catch his son Rocco on the backside of the screen. So if anyone ever sees me randomly waving at the camera, I'm not waving at Rocky, although I am technically, because the other one's named Rocky too. But more or less than anything else, it is one of my favorite things to see. It's a very welcome surprise whenever it happens on the Rome Show. Maybe we'll get Rocky and Rocky on the show. I know I have a sounder on this thing somewhere.
10 minutes from, are you thinking, I can't handle this?
There it is.
Too Rocky right
Yeah. And if you really want, we get 3 Rocky Romanellas on here at one time. But thank you to Rocky. Thank you to Little Rocky for his joining of the show. And thank you for the National Hockey League insight. We are done for today on this. We'll be back tomorrow to discuss National Basketball Association matters, the college football playoff, semifinals, game 1 tomorrow, Miami, Ole Miss. Got to talk about that and so much more. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to Meg and to JD for their write-ins. Man, I appreciate when the people talk to us on the Rome Show. I'll be back tomorrow. Andrew Romanella. Peace.
Thank you for listening.